pressure is really on him here. But for my money, I think he will perform. It looks like he's definitely geared up for this, and he knows that it's either here or bust. It's pretty much
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
So
that's the right characterization. These two have never played each other before. And so there will be that element of surprise. Now we have got the world number 10 versus the world number...
Two love.
I'll just correct myself on that one. But they have played, sorry, excuse me, once before. And that was at the Star Contender in Doha in 2021. Togami won that 3-0. Dang Cho is a very different player from then.
Well, just as you mentioned earlier, Shez, there is a 5-year age gap between them, and I do believe that, well, Togami, you know, highly talented, peaked very young as compared to Dang Cho. But I think Dang Cho has been a work in progress over the last couple of years, and you rightfully put it, there are changes. He's looking fairly strong here. Gets off to that 3-1 lead.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to note, of course, is Dang Cho is a pen holder. Very few of those in the game these days.
I would like to say a dying breed, but I wouldn't say that. I would say nearing extinction.
But, you know, but players like Dang Cho and Felix Lebrun kind of reviving it in a way, aren't they?
I think they can inspire a lot of, you know, youngsters who are taking up the game. And I do believe the penholder grip is kind of fading slightly, but as you mentioned, a revival is always welcome, and I think it's necessary. It's necessary. It adds a certain, you know, element, an exciting element to the game itself. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same shake hand grip. So, and it's always fun to watch, besides watching that left and right combination, to watch a penholder grip player playing against a player with a normal handshake grip.
Well, that is a great forehand there from Shunsuke Togami. Yeah, I think one of the reasons that the penhold grip has survived is the fact that you can use the RPB, the reverse penhold backhand, which effectively gives you another facet that didn't used to be there, right, Glenn? And that really has helped kind of keep it alive.
5-4.
Well,
and there's a prime example of that. Sorry, Glenn. There's a prime example there where you just saw him use the backhand.
Well, absolutely. And I think, you know, before, yeah, that was actually done. Now it looks so easy. You remember those awkward positions players had to go through. And it was also a physical strain, especially on the midriff area. You know, we probably neglect that over time, but there would be a lot of issues physically. And I think this just changes everything for the penholder grip. It makes it so much easier. It's a lot smoother, and reaction times can be a lot faster with it. So, you know, hats off to the lads, of course, who still use, I like to call it a craft by itself. You know, it's not easy, but players who use it naturally, I think that's great. Just notice what Danku is trying to do. He knows that Togami is fairly aggressive right from the word go. And what he's trying to do is he's actually trying to draw him into getting the ball out of the table. Togami is getting it in 9 out of 10. So that's, I think that's a bit of a worry. Togami is looking very sharp.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
This is going to be a battle. It's definitely going to be a battle between the two. And that mental edge of having beaten him before is still there in Togami's mind. So he's going to play strong. And keeping in mind the fact that you're pumping yourself up saying, I know I can beat him, it's just going to take your confidence level up a little bit more. There's not going to be any doubt in your mind. On the other hand, I really like to think what Dang Cho is thinking, because right now there's a lot of pressure on him to win, and the fact that he's lost to his opponent before, even though it may be a couple of years back.
Yeah, and then you add in the pressure, the requirements today that Dang Cho has to win. There's nothing else that will do. Now, as we said, Togami's not thinking, well, I'll aim for a draw, but he knows the pressure is not on him. He's also the lower ranked player. So he knows that if this goes wrong, the expectation is not on me. Of course, as an athlete, he is putting himself, he's thinking, well, I'm in pole position now. I've got to do this.
5, 10.
And he's got 5 here. Shunsuke Togami.
Well, if you just look at the two players, Shez, from the time they started off, Togami is easier. Just look at his shoulders, the way he's been standing. He's a lot smoother, flexible, and there.
First game to Togami.
Again, stand and deliver. Shunsuke Togami, brilliant. As you say, maybe the body language is very from the Japanese player. And he's done a brilliant job here in this opening game. Shunsuke Togami takes the first game, 11-5 against Dang Cho in this must-win match.
Bei seinen Aufschlägen auch ab und zu mal ne? Ja, kurz zurückspielen, wenn du das hinkriegst. Ja, okay, come on.
So let's see if Stern talking to from a former World Cup winner and Jörg Roskopf
Second
has
game, Chu to serve.
got any
Ruffle.
effect yet on Dang Cho, because now, Glenn, the equation is he has to win 3-1. He has to win the next 3 games. Nothing else will
1
do.
love.
So there is pressure now. He had the benefit of perhaps losing one. He's lost that one early on. It's got to be perfect now.
Life at the top or in the top region always comes with its own share of issues, doesn't it? And I think it's very evident. You noticed Dang Cho on day 1 when he was playing ethnic Saleh. He was taken by surprise because probably he wasn't expecting Saleh to stand and deliver like he did. But I do believe if you're looking at Dang Cho from then and Dang Cho now,
1 4.
there's a slight bit of tension. You look at him, he looks a tad bit stiff. And that's not because he's not physically prepped for the occasion. I think it's that mental pressure that's there right now. He knows that he's got to win this. He knows how important it is. And Togami is just playing in free fall. He doesn't really need to prove anything.
Yeah.
And he understands, I'm sure, that Dang Cho has that pressure, or he is under pressure, or that he is, a tad bit stiff. You can see that. And to counter that, he's been going hammer and tongs at him.
2 0.
Yeah, I remember as well, Dang Cho has kind of held a lot of responsibility for Team Germany. He kind of single-handedly dragged them through the World Team Championships in 2022 in Chengdu to the final where they got silver. He's also won the European Championships himself in singles
2 3.
2022. And the Europe Top 16, he came second last year. So he's achieved a fair bit in his own right. That's why he's a top 10 player. As for Togami, world champs, he's won a bronze in doubles in 2021 and a team bronze in 2022. And in terms of singles, he's got a bronze at the Asian Championships back in 2021. And there you go, it's a pumped fist from Jörg Roskopf.
Dang Cho will winning that rally. In fact, to be fair, that's the inaugural rally of the day. We always wait for those, even if it's a small one. But Dang Cho now just showing a bit more confidence, showing a bit more intent. It's left to be seen how Togami counters that. But if you ask me, Shez, it's not just a battle of physical skill here. It is a battle of mental wits, and you can see it in these two players. So Togami, every time he does lose a point, he tries to come back and win a couple of points to put the pressure on Dang Cho. On the other hand, Dang Cho's trying to just take whatever he can, whatever he gets right now.
4-all.
So neck and neck in the second game, I think it's much better than the first one, where I thought Togami totally overshadowed Dang Cho.
Yeah, he edged away mid-game and never really looked back. So Dang Cho knows has to put something on here.
5-4.
The other thing, of course, Glenn, is if Togami wins this game, this tie this match is effectively over, because he knows nothing less than a draw will happen after that.
So it's this
That's why
particular
this
game.
game's key.
It's
Yeah.
this particular game, the second one, that's really important for Dang Cho.
Let
If he loses this game, then
5-4.
the only possibility left would be a draw, and that means he's out. So I think that's the reason why he's fighting tooth and nail. It's currently 5-4 Dang Cho.
You've got to be careful, Dang Cho. Gotta cut out the unforced errors. I clipped the net. Actually, as we said, there's no margin for error now. He has to win the next 3 games. He loses any of the next 3. It's done.
It's starting with this one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a great backhand there from Togami.
Togami doesn't create too much of space between him and the table. He stays fairly close. He's already got his next shot ready before even the return. Kind of
5-7.
feeding into the player's mind, but he's very, very quick, very decisive with his shots. While I think Dang Cho just taking a little bit of time, maybe a couple of milliseconds more, to decide how he's going to go about it.
Togami's playing with a lot of confidence. I think you mentioned that earlier, and he's 4 points away of creating the first upset of the Men's World Cup 2024. And that's going to be big news. It goes back again to the draw with Saleh.
You're so right about that. You can't really fault Togami for it. Togami's going to go ahead and play his game and do what he needs to do to get ahead. I think if someone's got to take the fall for it, it will be Dang Cho. Day one against Ahmed Saleh. I mean, while we talk and we really praise Saleh for what he did, let's not forget something. You're a world number 10. There are no excuses. You got to go out there and play like a world number 10. And if you didn't, you'd only have yourself to look back at. So, Togami aside, I think that first stumbling block for him would have been day one for Dang Cho.
Still in this for now, Dang Cho.
We noticed Togami playing Saleh, and Togami, even there, is very much in command. I would have thought that Dang Cho would have gone and, probably had a rethink, come back a little stronger. But if you notice, there's not much of a change in the game that he was playing on day one and the game that he's playing today. There's barely much of a difference. But we saw that huge difference yesterday when players who lost on day one came back very strong yesterday.
Well, this is good work from Dang Cho. He's just edged away. He's got 2-point cushion here. Vital at this stage. He needs 2 more points to stay in this at least. Bring it to a 3rd game.
Well, I think he needs 2 more points to survive. Otherwise, it's pretty much, the exit door for him.
Yeah. He's got 3 game points here. Huge for Dang Cho.
That's what you call, world number 10 material. The fact that you can fight back, you can come back, and I think that's important.
11-7.
And so Dang Cho has taken this second game. Massively important for him. Now, he doesn't have to think about this just yet, but he wants to win handsomely just in case.
Aufschlag, ja.
Well, I'm sure he's definitely heard somebody say it, that you're a world number 10. You play like a world number 10, and I believe that that's exactly what he's done.
So game 2, 11-7 Dangzhou. It's 1-1 against Shunsuke Togami.
Die Banane ist gefährlich, wenn er die aus der Mitte spielt. Dann ist er gefährlich, weil dann kann er Druck machen.
Aber er täuscht halt an, dann geh ich schon nach hinten.
Ja. Ja, warte. Die kommen nicht so schnell. Da bist du sicher dran. Rückschlag.
So the equation really hasn't changed here for Dangzhou. He's got to continue doing what he's doing. And again, just repeat, there was no margin for error because Shunsuke Togami,
Togami to serve.
as long as he wins a game in the next 2, will go through. So Dangzhou has to win the next 2 games.
I do believe Tez, well, see, this is exactly what he does. He's got to avoid giving Togami, you know, those opportunities to set up the next shot for a win, and that's exactly what Togami's been doing right through. I think Dangzhou has to try and stifle him, not give him that space, not put the ball especially to the areas where Togami is extremely strong.
1-0.
Like the forehand and even the backhand right down the center. He's extremely strong with those shots, and he's won every time that... See, that's exactly what you probably want to do. You want to put it just slightly out of reach, because Togami does have a problem with getting to the ball, which is at a distance.
Lovely backhand there from Dangzhou to win the last point.
2-1.
Yeah, he's kind of bouncy at the moment, Dangzhou. He's probably feeling a little better than he was maybe a few minutes ago.
Well, much better selection of shots. He's now making Togami do the hard work, and I think that that's important.
Yeah, a lot of height on that return from Togami. Easy for Dangzhou to put away. You know, now, of course, if Dangzhou wins this game, the pressure, while it will still be on Dangzhou, the same sort of pressure, knowing that he still can't afford to lose the game after that. But Togami is then going to really start to feel it, because he had that cushion of knowing I had a few games I could afford to lose almost, but he knows then it comes down to a straight shootout in that game. This is if Dangzhou wins it, and now he's in a good position at 4-1.
Looking a lot stronger, a lot more relaxed now, unlike when he started off the morning.
4-2.
Rami can still fight back. But I think he understands as well as all of us do that if Dangzhou wins this, then he's in a spot of trouble.
Oh, lovely shot there from Togami.
Just putting it out of reach of his German counterpart. Beautiful backhand there.
9 matches played this year across 4 events for Togami. Won 5, lost 4. Doesn't quite go over. As I mentioned, he got to the semi-finals of the WTT Contender in Doha. Lost to Truls Morgard 3-1. Singapore smash, and Incheon, he lost to Ugo Calderano 3-2. That's a not bad result at all. One number 5. I think we've got a timeout here as well to Dangzhou, just to try and disrupt the rhythm.
den da kurzen Rückhand machst als geraden Aufschlag, hat er seine Probleme, den stellt er dann auch dann auf. Dann, ja, aber so hast du ja gut gestartet, indem du dann gestartet warst, okay, Rückhand da, Rückhand hier und dann, das ist gegen ihn gut zu spielen. Ja.
Ich muss halt einen langen machen, aber er hat den ersten halt durchgezogen. Aber ich muss halt mit dem langen spielen, dann ist er so schnell.
Ja, aber den langen, du hast Seite lang gemacht, den hat er durchgezogen, den als gerade gemacht hat, den hat er.
So a timeout taken there by Dang Cho, knowing that he has got to try and disrupt the rhythm. He just started to put a few points together, Shunsuke Togami. He likes that. That's top. Okay, could you see the frustration when he didn't make that?
Well, he was anticipating that early on. Dang Cho didn't. I don't know if you noticed that, Shez, but he had his bat halfway across the table before the shot came across the net. So Dang Cho, well, I think he's really now trying to read what Shunsuke Togami's next moves are. Which way is he going to send it? He's trying to kind of stifle him a little bit with the amount of table that he uses. But having said that, Togami is he's a tough customer. He's a very tough customer, yes.
Yeah, and he just started to play a bit freer than he was a few minutes earlier. Ooh, one of the longer rallies we've had. Dang Cho comes out on top. Roskop proves.
It's one of those amazing bits in table tennis, isn't it, Ches? Whenever the rally starts going, there's dead silence. Everyone just wants to watch that. I think a really good work being done here by Dang Cho. Well, just showing that X factor, just showing that, you know, that slight edge in these last two games. He won the previous game, and in this game, well, he's really holding on. He understands very well. I think his coach, of course, is an absolutely brilliant mentor, and the fact that he's eased the pressure off him, if you notice that. How he started and how he's playing now are two different things. Body language, everything else. So to have a coach like that in your corner, oh, that's absolute gold, isn't it?
Great forehand there from Togami to just keep himself within striking distance of his opponent. Only a point in it.
And every point does matter to him now. You can see that in his, jubilation and the celebration.
Couple of points in a row.
What a great way to get this day started, Ches. Absolutely marvelous to have such an amazing match. Two strong players, but we said that yesterday that there was going to be, big battles today. But so far it's always been, those petered down, kind of not really well matched opponents. But this is extraordinary.
Yeah, it's just heard come on from Dang Cho. He's pushing himself.
It's gone into a very intense period. Both players very focused. They really, really know, well, the weight of a victory in this game here today.
They're trading points at the moment. No one able to yet take a firm grip of this crucial game.
Well, both these athletes, such amazing talents, have two very different styles of play.
Nine.
Real power. That forehand has helped Shunsuke Togami a lot today.
And I think, you know, I don't really speak German. I could see his coach telling him, you know, when he was trying to explain and I think the message is very clear that he's got to try and keep Togami from getting that easy shot. Once he gets into that natural position, he can really drive
Oh,
that.
this is big now. This is huge. Togami has got 2 game points. And all that it requires now, if he wins this point, doesn't matter what happens for the rest
I
of this
think that
match.
picture just captures
Yeah.
it, doesn't it?
You're right.
Just that relief on his coach's face, that expectation.
Big moment here. Win this, and he is through. And he puts out a big name as well.
9, 10.
Not so
Just
fast.
to add to the drama.
Not so fast.
I'm up.
I'm sure Dang Cho can hear all of us.
He's taking a timeout as well, just to add to things. Shunsuke Togami, he's got 1 game point left.
Wenn er den antäuschen, doch mal kurz spielen.
Ja, ich muss
Die
ihn-
Qualität ist nicht so hoch dann.
Ich muss
Ja?
einfach in die Ecke spielen. Ich
Nur,
muss einfach in die
nur
Ecke
wichtig ist, wenn er langen Ball spielt, ja, die Qualität muss einfach rein. Ja? Dann auch von der Platzierung auch den Ball auch rausspielen. Ja? Wenn er dann Ausschlag hat, dann entweder spielst du klar, nicht so kurz, sondern du spielst mit
ich
Vorhand
wollte jetzt
kurz dann.
antäuschen.
Ja, genau. Ne? Und dann spielst du einfach so.
9.
So he's taken a timeout here because it's such a vital moment. He doesn't want to give any kind of chance to Dang Cho. Shunsuke Togami knows he wins this point, it's all
9,
done.
10.
Let's freeze his muscles a little bit. That's really, you know, the what works even in a lot of other sports where you want to break it. And Shunsuke Togami was so well prepared for the occasion, I think, to go ahead and take that game. Is it going to make a difference now? I think that's very important.
No, he's not been able to do it. Dang Cho has drawn level.
That was the plan, Chess, and I think he's just done what he set out to do.
Well, this is really dramatic stuff here.
We spoke about it earlier, mind games. It's really been mind games between these two. And, well, more power to him. If he does take this game, he'll still be in the running. So, Shunsuke Togami understands that.
Need a winner by 2 clear points here.
10.
Well, he's back. He's given himself a 3rd game point. Togami. Man who, as we said, lost to Calderon in his last WTT event. Played in the World Team Championships. Up against a player like Dang Cho, who's played 23 matches this year, won 15 of them. And he's done it!
Got game
He has won! Shunsuke Togami.
Shunsuke Togami definitely will be sailing through. There's no doubt about it. Just can't help but feel a tad bit bad for Dang Cho, but there's still there's still a game, of course, to be played
Yeah,
out.
I mean, you know, one could argue, well, since it's already decided, is there a need to finish off the rest of it? I guess to complete the table, get the full picture. Or Dang Cho now. It's going to be a sinking feeling now for Dang Cho.
Spielt okay, weiter.
There you
Well,
go.
it is.
You can see as Shunsuke Togami wraps up game 3, 12-10.
Wichtig ist einfach, wenn sie lang kommen, ja, das heißt, es ist viel besser, die deine Rückhand, ja, dass die Qualität und schnell kommt, dass du das ja variierst, dann auch Spiele später dann auch dann, ja. Ja, aber schauen, immer wieder dann auch schon mit einbauen, dieses Gefühl kriegen für diesen wenn du lang spielst, ne?
今のまま積極的で多少バックミスしてもそれでもいいからいいプレーだよ。頑張れ。Come on.
So the highs then of victory for Shunsuke Togami. And
Fourth game, choose
yeah,
the
he'll be now
Double.
thinking, I put myself in a fantastic position to go through.
Love
And
1.
it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for this man here. Oh,
Love.
into the net. Dang Cho to just raise himself a little bit.
3. Love.
Not easy. Three love already. Shunsuke Togami.
Love 4.
So Tagami, it's just looking well, way more solid, and I think Shez, we mentioned this earlier, Dangchu really dejected. You can see that there was always going to be second chances after day one, but right now, well, knowing it's that you have to take the exit door, and there's a change in his performance. We always neglect this one thing about table tennis, isn't it? Your mental conditioning is so very, very important. And just look at the difference it's made. He's 6 points behind, 6-0.
It's, yeah, head's gone a little bit. You're right.
7. Love.
He's got nothing to play for. But it does, you know, there's going to be that personal pride. I definitely don't want to lose on a bagel.
Yeah, I don't think intentionally he would
No,
want to lose, but
of course not.
It's just there at the back of your mind. And it affects your
It's
performance.
hanging there, isn't it?
And we spoke of this earlier, right? When they came into play, when they started off, Togami was just in a different frame of mind.
Love.
And I think
You noted that, I think, very quickly, that there was a positivity about Togami.
Love 9.
well, looks like he's not going to draw on a point as well.
And love.
Wow, this is incredible. Absolutely. Now, how is this going to finish? This is not the way you want to bow out. And is he going to give kind of a mercy point here?
11. Love.
We have got a
to
bagel.
Togami. Match ends 3 games
That
to
is
1.
incredible way to end
On the
things.
wall number 10.
Wall number 10. He's been hammered here at the end, especially.
That's
And
not the
a-
breakfast you want to eat. That's
No,
for certain.
not at all. Breakfast of champions for Shunsuke Togami, and that is a disappointing way to end proceedings. Really disappointing. We have our first upset of this World Cup, first big upset. It's an outright win for Shunsuke Togami, who sails through, Glenn, not just edges through. He has cruised into the round of 16.
You're so right. He actually won this game. There's no doubt about it. Maybe that last game, you know, Dangcho may have thrown it away, but rightfully he handed Shunsuke a victory. Because let's say he had even drawn for whatever reason, but that's a matter of pride. But that's the final score.
So Shunsuke Togami beats Dang Cho 11-5, 7-11, 12-10, 11 love, 3 games to 1. Look at the difference in points, 15. And it has been pretty good day for Shunsuke Togami.